to the Astro Forecast for the week of October 31st to November 6th, that we are moving into the second last month of the year. And we are now in between waves. I almost like to think of it. Think of it as like a big wave just hit with the new moon eclipse in Scorpio, and the next wave is going to hit on Tuesday at the full moon eclipse in Taurus. So we're in between waves now. We've sort of gotten hit with that first wave. Now all the ish is coming up from the deep, from Scorpio, right? All the bodies, all of the triggers, all the wounds, right? We are being faced with those parts of us that are maybe needing a lot of help, a lot of healing, and maybe things in our life are bringing that to the surface for us. Maybe there's relationships, maybe that aren't working out so great. Maybe finances aren't working out so great. Our resources, what we love and value, is being really coming up now for us to see, is this how we align? And are we taking the steps to make our life what we want it to be? So we're in between waves. Now, there's a lot of air coming in this week. We start off Monday, October 31st, Halloween, with the moon in Aquarius, which is an air sign. So moon in Aquarius is about us kind of thinking through our feelings, which can be really helpful during this time. But we're not trying to think our way through our feelings. We also need to feel our way through our feelings. That will come. That's going to come with the moons. But this is a great day now to kind of digest everything that's been happening and really helping your head to get in alignment and see what's going on. But your heart also needs to feel too. So this can be a day where you feel like your head and heart are at odds. Now, because Mars went retrograde on the 30th of October, which was yesterday, if you're watching this on Monday, that is, he's going to stay at that same degree of Gemini, 25 degrees of Gemini, from October 20th to November 8th. So we are in this period of time right now where Mars is really not moving. We call that stationary retrograde, staying on this degree as the momentum is shifting. Sort of when you think about a pendulum, think about the pendulum at the top, right? It almost kind of hovers for a moment, just a moment, and then it comes back down again. That's what Mars is doing right now. It's hovering just for a moment, and then it's going to switch directions. Mars is our energy, vitality, our passion, our drive, our egoic will forward, right? Our ego wants to move forward. And when Mars is retrograde, there's no forward momentum. This is a time now where we really reassess and review and realign with what is our motivations, what are our passions, what is driving us at that egoic level. And if it's trauma, if it's emotional wound, if it's triggers, if it's like, I'm doing this thing because I can't do, I have to, or I'm doing this because my mom said so, or you're doing things, I just had a session where we were talking about beliefs and values that we inherited from our parents. And a big one is about money and food, right? So how many people had parents that say to them, eat what's on your plate because they're starving children in Ethiopia? And you're just like, what does that have to do with me? I'm full, or I don't want to eat this anymore. And we start to kind of pass down these beliefs. Did that happen for you? And do you then eat everything on your plate because you don't want to waste? And are you pushing yourself past your limit? Can we maybe be more efficient with our resources and not feel guilty about that? So something to keep in mind. Now, Tuesday, November 1st, there's no real aspects this week in terms of of the bigger aspects until Saturday. But we have this energy that's kind of, like I said, we're in between waves, right? So as we move into Tuesday now the moon is gaining light. It's now going into its second quarter phase where it's gaining light, but Mars is retrograde. So it's not like we're feeling we have momentum. We might have a lot of motivation. But on this day, Tuesday specifically, the moon is going through a number of squares to not so great. It's making us kind of feel like we're not being appreciated, where maybe we're feeling anxious, where we're trying to control things, but we can't. We're trying to really think our way through our feelings, but we can't. So it can be a frustrating day. So just give yourself some leeway and some deep breaths on November 1st. November 2nd, we have more motivation. The moon is coming to trine Mars. Again, Mars, though, is retrograde. So this is a great time to introspect. I mean, it's, of course, you still have to take action. You still have to pay bills. You still have to do things in your life, feed yourself, all the things that are going on in your life. But this is now a time when, if it's not hitting your intuition, it's not something that needs to be done right now. Right? If it's not a for certain, sorry, that hair's really driving me crazy. If it's not a for certain, don't do it. right? This Gemini energy of Mars feels very flippy floppy, very wishy-washy, right? You want to do something and then you don't want to do something. You can see why you want to do it, but then you're not motivated to do it. It's almost like you see both sides of the coin and your energy is constantly fluctuating back and forth with yes, no, yes, no. But there are certain things that come up that feel like a yes. That still has to be done. That's still your thing of like, yes, I need to go do this thing. Okay. And then Thursday, November 3rd, great insightful day is what I wrote in my notes. There's the moon is going to be trining all those planets that he was kind of squaring before. So this is a day that we feel very insightful. We're having a lot of kind of clarity and insights on things. Again, that Mars retrograde can make us feel like we're still wishy-washy on motivation, but we're getting more clarity and insight. That's why it feels like it's more of a mindful week where we're really in our mind and we're thinking through things. Friday, also great day for intuition as well. The moon is coming to sit with Neptune, which is about intuition, also with Jupiter, which is about expanding our emotions and helping us really feel. And the moon is going to be sextile to Pluto, which is like deep insights coming from our intuition. So you might get some really big clarity moments on this day. Again, because Mars is retrograde this week, not a great time to really move forward with big projects or big purchases or car purchases as well. Mars rules cars. So it almost feels like you might regret it afterwards in January. Now, of course, you can't not move forward in your life. So just being really clear on your motivations, why you're doing things, right? You might be doing things now from a traumatized or a wounded place. And we want to just make sure that any decisions you make right now are from the heart and they really align with your intuition, not your mind saying that you need to or you should have shaming you into doing things. And then Saturday, November 5th, this is a big day in the astrology. It's not really a big day in astrology. It is the only day of real big astrology this week. And it's Venus opposite Uranus. So Venus is what we love and value. It is money, beauty, aesthetic, relationships, all those Venusian kind of topics, if you will, art, culture, food. And then Uranus is the great awakener. He likes to change what's not working and he likes to do it fast. He is not fooling around, right? If you have a little safety blanket, he's going to take that safety blanket and throw it off the cliff. He said, no, we're not doing that anymore. That's Uranus. So when we have Venus opposite Uranus, this is going to be a test to your money, to your relationships, to your beauty and aesthetic, how you feel about your beauty and your relationships. Anything that's not working, this day is going to throw it up in the air for it to come down in a new way. Okay. So Uranus strengthens whatever he touches, but there's a test. There's always sort of a test to see why you're doing what you're doing. Does this really fit with who you are now? He's an evolver. He wants you to help you evolve into your highest and best self. And Venus is like, why can't we just all get along? Why can't we just love, right? Be together and be love. And Venus, though, is in Scorpio at this time. So this scorpionic Venus is deep healing, right? It is really about these taboo subjects, other people's money, karmic ties to the past, ancestral trauma. All of these lovely things are Venus. So this Uranus opposition can be bringing up, this is kind of the continuation of the new moon eclipse in Scorpio, helping to bring up those moments to see it for what it is and heal it, right? It's trying to bring about some balance. So evolution in what we love and value, exciting encounters, evolution in relationships, sudden unexpected costs can come in on this day, relationship breaks, and with Mars and Gemini, this could be unexpected car breakdowns, unexpected issues with your car. So that can come about too. Breakups in relationships as well, unexpected attraction. So this Venus opposite Uranus can be this unexpected attraction to somebody very what's the word I'm looking for? Not normal. Like someone who's very not the status quo. I cannot think of the word right now. But pursuing a new direction in life, change what you love, unexpected events. Now, Venus opposite Uranus, if you're in an unhappy relationship or yeah, there's elements of your relationship that aren't working. This could be a handsome stranger that comes in, or an older, unexpected, handsome stranger that comes in. So there could be that temptation at this point in time. So just being, again, very clear on your motivations and why you're doing what you're doing. If things aren't going well in your relationship, then the opportunity is to look at your relationship and see what's not working and is it really a fit for you, versus looking outside that relationship to try to placate or fill a part of you that feels unfulfilled in your relationship, if that makes sense. So that's happening for you. I have zero judgment on it, but really just being aware of your motivations, because what will happen later is that this will come around again when Venus comes into Taurus and sits with Uranus. It will be a new beginning in the love, in the relationships, in your beauty aesthetic, in the way that you see about your money and feel about money. So this is all part of a cycle, right? It's all part of a cycle. And you're doing a great job of it, but coming in with awareness, compassion, and curiosity is going to help you really heal these things, versus pushing them down or judging them, or now getting angry at yourself for doing this again, right? Really sitting with why you keep doing the things that you do. And then Sunday, November 6th, we have daylight savings time here in parts of Canada and the world, which I still think is crazy. But time is going to be falling back over here. So there is a time change at 2 in the morning on Sunday. So just being aware of that. And then we are building to that new full moon total eclipse on Tuesday. It is a total eclipse. So it is going to be very potent. And again, in Taurus, being about money, our values, our resources, our land, our nature, nature's resources, the earth, all those things are coming up. And it's an interesting opposition because there's a square to Saturn, which is going to be about authority and regulations and the patriarchy, evolution, trying to heal and bring community together. So it's a big new moon, or sorry, full moon, that one coming up next week. So just notice that the energy is going to be building in intensity as we move towards Tuesday. All right. So wishing you a wonderful week between waves, using your conscious awareness, that beautiful mind with that brilliant intelligence of your spirit to help you really navigate these waters. We are doing it together. You are not alone. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Have a great week. Bye.